Hello everybody, it's me, producer Ross, and welcome to game day. Town take on Portsmouth in League One. It's third versus fourth. 2,000 fans. We're back at Portman Road. I want to go over to speak to some fans to see what they're thinking about returning to the stadium.
Hi, my name's Ed. I'm extremely excited to be back. It's really nice, a bit quiet, but it's a lot of fun and can't wait to be back inside.
What you missed about going?
I've actually missed the journey to the stadium, the journey back, win or lose. I mean, it's a lot of fun just to see people who haven't seen in a long time, and being in there is going to be nice. Hearing the kick of the ball, it's going to be lovely.
So yeah, I'm Brad. That's it. I'm Ali. Season ticket holder. Obviously, good to be back.
I'm Alex. Loving it.
Yeah, Phil. It's great to be back. Plenty of years season ticket holder, so yeah, good.
What have you missed the most about going to games? I'm sure socialising with each other.
Yeah, a couple of beers beforehand.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Just the atmosphere. Watching at home isn't the same.
Promise I wouldn't go to the pub until we get back to football or darts.
Yeah, it's like watching a training ground, isn't it? Training ground.
You can only hear
It's
the
so
players.
quiet, isn't it? Yeah, it's just.
I think we'll have a big impact on the players as well. So fingers crossed. So.
Are you sitting anywhere different to you normally sit?
Sitting at this end instead of the other end, we're normally at Portman Road end. So yeah.
What do you think today then? Third versus fourth?
Let's just stay third if we can. They're playing pretty well, Portsmouth.
Silly as it sounds, it's a big game for us, and we need to step up. Hopefully, coming off the back of a win, the players know how important it is to themselves and to the fans. We can move on from that.
I think they might have had some pressure off not having, we didn't have a brilliant reaction when we were last time.
So my name's Richard. I'm very excited to be back at Portman Road today. It's been a long time for everyone. Just looking forward to see the team play and looking forward to not watching it on iFollow really. So happy days.
So there we go, full time here at Portman Road, and it's the same old story. It's a 2-0 defeat for Town against Pompey. It was great to see the Town fans back in the stadium, the cheers before the game, the claps and all that, chants starting off, but then it was many boos at full time, and it's just the same old story. Town just didn't threat enough, had a lot of possession, but just didn't create enough chances to even test Portsmouth. 2 good goals from them in the first half. In the second half, well, it was a morgue in this stadium because it was just not a good game. So I want to go outside the stadium, speak to some fans and see what they had to say on their return to Portman Road and the game itself. Let's go.
So as a whole, really glad to get back to the ground, back to see the team play, but the performance, well, it speaks for itself. We could have easily lost 4-5, and that's just being honest with the chance they had, and didn't really create anything for ourselves. The tactics, you question Lambert's tactics, he makes the changes in the second half, but he just goes like for like. It's just horses for courses. He doesn't seem to have a plan B. As fans, you just find it really frustrating that it's the same old. Will we be hurrying back? If I'm honest, no. And that's my honest. As much as I love my club and as much as I want to be here, when you sit and watch that and just think, something's got to change. Something's got to change to get this club going again. The league is poor, and unfortunately, we're just as poor as the league.
What's your thoughts on that? Are you keen to get back, or are you sort of like, I wish you were at home?
Yeah, I definitely wish I was left at home. It'd be a lot warmer sitting at home, and my friend's a Portsmouth fan. He's been texting me loads of messages going on and on and on. But we weren't good enough today, so.
It's good to be back at the ground, obviously after 280 days of not being able to watch football. It's good to be back. But unfortunately, the result, other than a couple of balls in the first half where we sprung their defence and Jackson got through a couple of times, there wasn't really much to see. I remember Marcus Evans' statement that mentioned about the green shoots, and to be honest, the only green shoots that I could see were the ones on the pitch. There's this whole thing about I've been saying about iFollow and how we need to see the game from our perspective at the ground to see the progress that's being made on the pitch. But to me, I couldn't really see it. We looked lack of ideas. It was still slow. Taking Jackson off around the 60th minute and bringing drilling on someone who who was injured the last game and hasn't been playing as much in terms of fitness is a bit questioning considering you're 2-0 down. To be honest, with the goals, they're very sloppy defensively. I think the second one, Chambers loses his man. The first one, it was quite a nice pass and move between him and Marquis, but still the defending should be better. And there's not really any cutting edge. We saw in the Plymouth game what Hawkins and Jackson can do, and I think you could see in this game as well, like Stephen Ward and Chambers not really getting forward as much, and it seemed quite isolated. Even when Nolan came off, I thought McGavin did a decent job as what he could do. I think in the first half, you probably look back at the Armando Dobra chance where he put it straight at the keeper rather than down the corners. And obviously Giselle got forward quite a bit around that area from what I could see. But yeah, it's a bit worrying the fact that I think we're 15 months on and we still haven't been able to beat a top 6 side. You've got Burton here on Tuesday night, and that'll probably end up being a win, and more will be forgotten. But you've got Peterborough coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. So I don't really know in terms of what to say, in terms of what to change, because we're kind of clutching at straws here. We every week we try and get positive about, are we going to win, are we going to get the 3 points that we need, and see the progress that this being Evans is saying, but I don't really know at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was for the first 20 minutes or so, it was great to be back. Obviously, just been waiting to get back into the stadium for 9 months, but once the game got going, it was very much same old, same old. If anything, it just lays it bare when you see it in the flesh. That's where we are and what we are as a club at the moment. We're a League One club, a League One team. There wasn't really much that really convinced me that was going to change. Wasn't really much in the way of ideas. Once we went a goal behind, you knew what was going to happen. So yeah, poor display, poor game. But yeah, being at least you got some sort of normality being actually in the game. It's always better to watch in the stadium than at home and on the sofa behind the laptop screen. It's about the only real positive I can take, to be honest.
No, it was nice to be back, of course. A bit of normality, I'd say, but performance again was pretty poor, I'd say. Dominated possession like normal, but no real chances. Dobra, probably the only real chance he had, straight at the goalkeeper. Need to play 2 up front. Jackson's very isolated, I'd say. Something's got to change. I would play Hawkins with Jackson up front. Maybe go for a 4-4-2, see how that goes. But we know Lambert's a bit stubborn, won't change and stick to his old ways, I guess. But nice to be back. Poor result. Hopefully better on Tuesday, I guess.
Being back in the stadium was brilliant. It was really looking forward to coming up today. And it was all right up until 20 minutes or so into the game, and then once we went behind, then we never looked like getting back into the game. Tactics were poor. The passion for the team is probably not what it should be. If they had half the passion of the fans, then maybe we wouldn't be struggling. And I've just seen we're 3rd in the league still, so I don't know how that's happened. So I suppose that's the one positive to take out of the day. But no, as for the overall team performance in the game, it's still very poor. I think Paul Lambert's tactics are poor. We need to play with 2 up front because Jackson was so isolated in the first half. It was ridiculous. We just need that extra attacking threat because we have got none at the moment. And when we do get the balls, we pump it high. There's just nobody to get it. So yeah, and defensively we're a little bit shaky at times as well. But it was good to be back. But overall, the result and the performance is hard to take still.
Yeah, it was really good to see fans back in the stadium. I've been lucky enough to report on the games without the fans being here, and it hasn't been the same. Even just when you see the teams come out for the warm-up, it's really nice to hear that round of applause, that kind of sense of excitement. Even walking up, you see the blue shirts, and it's always good to watch it. But as you say, not the game that they wanted to come back to, not the game that they deserve to come back to. They've been so patient. I mean, it's what I looked. It was the 7th of March, the last time we had fans in the ground. And they've had to wait, and this is the performance that they get given, which is a real disappointment from the team, to be honest. It's another game. I mean, look at the last 3 results here against what we call divisional rivals in Charlton, Hull and Portsmouth. It reads 7 goals against, none for, 3 defeats. And that's just not the form that we can be looking at. We didn't create any real opportunities. It took until in the second half when we were 2-0 down, 83rd minute, probably the first time we had a real kind of opportunity in the game when McGuinness headed over the bar. Apart from that, there's just nothing, is there? And defensively, we look very shaky. Marquis had, I think, Wolfenden and McGuinness in his pocket, to be honest. He was very comfortable Williams played very well, scored 2 goals, but the second one was really, really poor defending. And as I say, you never get that sense of excitement that they're going to strive to do something better and get anything out of the game. And you look at kind of other teams now. Sunderland obviously just changed their manager. They won 4-0 today, away from home at Lincoln. So you kind of get a sense of Lambert. It's not working. It doesn't look like it's going to turn around. And if we're not careful, we're going to end up in 11th place like we did last season.
Very disappointing performance. Yes, it's great to be back. In fact, it was fantastic to come back, seeing the boys play, being back at Portman Road. I was very anxious coming down here today because I didn't know what to expect. So while I was travelling down here, I was like, do I really want to be here? Because I didn't know what to expect. But once I was in the stadium, once I was at my seat, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant to be back, and I loved it. Absolutely loved being back. Bit of normality to come back to, and so we're slowly getting there. But as for the poor performance, oh my God, it was awful, absolutely awful. There was no goal threat. The defence was awful. It was just terrible, and it doesn't seem to be a plan B. It's just stick to the usual, stick to it. Why he took Jackson off, I've got no idea, because he was really our only goal threat. Yes, we did have a chance in the first half when Dobra was clean through, but it was a good save by their goalkeeper. And I guess that was the only real goal threat we had until the 82nd, 83rd minute when McGuinness had his header, which just went over the bar. Until then, we had nothing up front, nothing in the middle, and nothing at the back, and we were just so disappointing. But on a positive note, it's great to be back.